How's it, guys? Welcome to Kollectiv Studio. This is a gear review, right? So we're going to start with preamps. I think preamps are in the news at the moment. If I don't know if you guys saw the Jim Lill video, we put a Focusrite Scarlett up to a very expensive Neve preamp. And his results was that they were basically the same. I'll get to that later in the video. For now, we're just going to talk about the EVO 16. Really cool interface. Audient EVO 16. I really like what they're doing. I think it's a really good interface. And what I'm going to do with these gear reviews, obviously talk about gear I use in the studio, right? I'm not going to talk about gear that I have no experience with. I've had this unit for about 2 years now. So I think I'm qualified now to just give my opinion on how it's working for me, how it's working in my studio. So let's just go through features. So it's got Smartgain. Smartgain is a really cool feature, I think, especially for when you're beginning, especially when you're beginning a recording. What Smartgain basically is, you press the channel, you click on Smartgain, and I'll show you now the Smartgain button on a video when I switch the video around. So basically it does your leveling in terms of your preamp gain automatically for you, which is really cool and really convenient. If you're tracking 8 channels at one time, you just activate Smartgain and it does all 8 channels for you. It gains it to about minus 24 dB. In the beginning I used to use it, but now I'm pushing it a bit more to minus 18. At minus 18, between minus 18 and 24, your preamps, your plugins, most of the vintage plugins are set up to those levels, a little bit hotter than what Smartgain does. So your compressors just automatically work. Everything, you don't need to dial in too much of the settings. That your levels is just correct, if I can put it that way. It's got an instrument boost, which is really cool. Like if you're plugging a guitar straight into it, which obviously makes recording guitar really quick and easy and just sounds amazing. It's got obviously phantom power for like condenser mics, and it's got 8 channels. So the EVO 16's got 8 channels and it's expandable to 24. I have an SP8. You'll see now I have an SP8, so mine is extended to 16 channels. And yeah, it's a really easy ADAT with a clock, and it's really easy to set up. It just automatically connects. There's no real fuss and features, and like you have to do a lot of settings. It just works. The 2 units speak to each other very easily and quickly, and there's no problems. What I like about the EVO 16, it's obviously expandable to 24, as I said. Most other interfaces in the price range are only expandable to like 18 or 20 channels. So that's one of the reasons why I got the EVO 16. If I ever want to go to 24, I have that option. At the moment, 16 is enough for me. I haven't gotten to the point where I'm above 16, but if I ever do get there, I'll obviously expand just to another SP8 and go to 16 channels. What you should keep in mind is that if you go to 24 channels, you can't certain bit rates. The bit rates becomes lower. So at 16 channels, you can do 48 kilohertz at 24-bit. I think at 16, it's 44.1. But there's been so many experiments. There's actually people who say they actually prefer to work in 44.1 versus 48, which is obviously a lower rate, but they're saying it sounds better. Like I said, I honestly haven't heard the difference between the two. For me, the Audient just sounds good. I normally work in 48 kilohertz. That's my normal rate. Sometimes I'll go lower depending on certain things. But yeah, so let me show you the unit. Okay, and we're back. So as you can see, at the moment I've got 1 channel running, and it's literally just the workings of it. You literally press a channel, it shows the gain, and you choose if you want to put phantom power on or your instrument on. You just click on those channels and you just up the gain. It's really easy to do that. If you want to do Smartgain, you select it, you press Smartgain, you select it again. It's really easy. It does all of these stuff very easy. It's got, what I like about it, it's very easy to understand. If you want for example, your speakers going out, click on speakers, you push the volume. If you want to do your headphone outs, it's got 2 headphone outs, and then function you can program to do different things. In this case, I have function to be a dim feature. So let's say I'm recording and I've got my speaker set at like a high volume. When I press function, it basically halves the level to half of the output, which is great if you don't want to have bleed and stuff. So yeah, that's a really cool features. The SP8 works very much the same. It just hasn't got the speaker obviously out and the headphone outs. But for the rest, it works exactly the same. You click on the button, it opens it up. It gives you the two units work exactly the same. It's really cool. Okay, so that's the SP8. Let's talk about preamp sound. Let's talk about the Jim Lill video. Let's talk about preamps and sound. My take on the SP8, it's clean. That's my biggest take on it. It's a really clean, great sounding preamp. The ADAT conversion to my ears is great. I've had other units, and I must say that the preamps, in terms of the preamps, are cleaner than most other units I've ever heard. I think it's the cleanest preamp, meaning it doesn't add coloration. If you want coloration, you can do it in the box. You can do it with other things, but the preamps don't have, especially the EVO 18, EVO 16 doesn't have any coloration, which I think is really cool. It's something I was looking for. I prefer to have almost no coloration on my preamps, just because it helps me to get a really clean sound, hear what I'm hearing, and then I'll add coloration in the box. That's really easy to do. So ADAT conversion to my ears is great. I've heard people say that the EVO's ADAT conversion isn't as good as the other Audient products. From all the research I've done, is exactly as all Audient products have got the exact same conversion, and I know that the Audient has got some of the best conversions on the market. So from my ears, what I'm hearing is it sounds awesome and great. Now let's just talk about preamps. What my take on preamps is: does your preamps matter? Because what Jim Lill says in his video is that the tone of a good record doesn't come from preamps, because your Neve preamps sound exactly the same as your Focusrite preamps. Now, obviously, I think what's happening there is Rupert Neve, who designed the Neve preamps, also helped design the Focusrite thing. So obviously, it's like a brother from another mother. You know, that kind of thing, right? So I can understand why those two are very close. I can understand why they almost sound the same and all that kind of stuff. My personal opinion is that your studio, the environment you're recording in, it's going to have a much bigger impact. The mics you're using, plus the interface, plus everything else, is going to have a much bigger impact on the tone that you're getting, what plugins you're using, the way you're mixing. Have you got a heavy hand in, like, let's say, bass? That's going to be a much bigger influence than the actual preamps. Maybe yes, if you specifically try and distort some of the other like analog preamps, and you specifically, some of the other units, the 1070s definitely do have a lot more gain than or distortion coloration than an other Neve, than the specific one. APIs definitely have a different type of sounds. It's a different design inside. So obviously there's going to be a slightly different sound. Again, Audient also has got a different sound. My take is just, I like clean. I like the clean. Then I can do with it whatever I want. That's really been my personal opinion, is I don't want coloration for my preamps. If I want coloration, I'll maybe get it for my microphone. The distance you record, that's a lot of coloration just from where you recording to a mic. I mean, there's such a big coloration there, just there. And that's the thing I've been learning and for the past 2 years in my studio, is that with a clean preamp, distance to a mic is almost you can create warmth just from the distance from the mic you're recording. You can create mud, you can create all sorts of different things just from the distance you're recording. So really, I think that I think that the whole thing about just getting the best preamps is completely overhyped. Sure, if you can afford it, if you can buy APIs, if you can buy Neve, buy them. I mean, by all means, if it's going to allow you to make better music, if you're going to enjoy using those products, do it. I just don't think it's needed to make good music. We've got these amazing sounding clean preamps, and I've been learning so much about how to create certain textures and tones with clean preamps than I probably ever would have if I had, let's say, a Neve or an API. I really, really, really like the cleanness of it. Like I said, you can create really cool, interesting sounds with just a difference you offer on the mic. It's something I've been working on, especially on like acoustic guitar. Like the distance from a mic makes a big, big, big difference. Especially with singers as well. Like the distance, the type of mic you've got, that makes a big difference. And you can hear it, I think, you can hear it a bit more if you've got clean preamps. If you have coloration or preamps, yes, you'll hear the coloration, but you won't necessarily hear those subtleties. And that's why I like the Audient, is it really, really, really helps you to learn your craft, hear what you're hearing, and then edit, and in the box put your coloration on then. But you have a very clean, accurate signal of the person. Then you can add your stuff in later. That's just my opinion on it. So my opinion is does your interface or your preamps matter? I think it does. And I think it does. It depends on what you want to do. For me, I want to go clean. I want to have the most accurate. I want to be able to hear exactly what I'm doing, what sound I'm getting from the guys, and I don't want coloration on that. There's so many cool plugins now. You can put in a Neve sound, a SSL sound, an API sound. You can do all of that in the box, and it's really accurate. I mean, it's really the plugins we have at the moment is so good. I don't think it makes as big of a difference as people like to make it. I honestly don't think so. I know a lot of the best mixers in the world only mix in the box. Sure, maybe it's been tracked on some sort of analog gear, but they're all mixed in the box. The plugins and everything is so good at the moment. The question is, would I then buy if I had the money? Let's say I had a whatever budget. Would I buy analog preamps? I probably would, because it's fun, it's cool. It's cool to click on something and have more options. That's definitely true. Would I like an EF preamp? Yes, I would. But my main preamps, my main go-to would still be something clean, something like the Audient, something like maybe Antelope Audio, something clean, something that doesn't color my mix. That's for me really important. Like, I want to be able to hear how that mic sounds. I don't want to hear the coloration. I want to be able to hear what this mic does to a voice, to a guitar. Then you can go, okay, I know how this mic sounds. If it's clean, then you can put the coloration on. In my opinion, I think that's the way we should be doing it. So, in conclusion, if you want a clean sounding preamp, if you want to be able to hear what you're doing without any coloration coming from your interface preamp, if you want to hear exactly how your mic sounds, if you want to learn how your acoustic guitar sounds exactly, how to make it sound good with distances, with recording techniques, go for Audient. It's a really good sounding preamp. It definitely has got. I'm very happy with it. Cool. Cheers, guys. Go make music. Whatever preamp you've got, go out there. Just make music, and that's why we're all here. Anyway, guys. Cheers.